Lauren, can you hear me all right?
Good morning. Yes, we can.
Lauren, I think we'll give it a couple minutes to let people join.
Understood. Thank you, Tim. Good morning, Tim. You can go ahead and start the meeting when you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. I will now call this September 9th meeting of the Cybersecurity Task Force to order. Lauren, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Lauren Gorse for the record. Tim Robb.
Here.
Tim Galuzzi.
Present.
Frank Abella. Dr. Marilyn Delmont. Brett Compston.
Present.
Sanford Graves. Tim Horgan. Jeffrey Lewis.
Present.
Thank you. Edgar Sierra.
Present.
Adam Miller. Brandon Peterson.
Here.
Adjutant General Waters.
Here.
Thanks, sir. Brian O'Neill. James Wood.
Present.
Dr. Delmont, can you hear us?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You have quorum.
Thank you so much. With that, we will now move into agenda item number 2, public comment. No action may be taken upon a matter raised under this item of the agenda until the matter itself has been specifically included on an agenda. And public comment may be limited to 3 minutes at the discretion of the chair. And to call in, the dial-in is 1-669-219-2599, and the meeting ID is 202-331-8963, followed by pound. We'll give that a couple of seconds to catch up. Is there anybody in the room at OEM for public comment?
Unseen, Tim.
Lauren, has anybody written in public comment?
Lauren Morse for record, no, they have not.
Is anybody on Zoom here for public comment?
Seeing none.
Have we had anybody join on the phone? You may need to hit *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, hearing and seeing none, I think we're good to move on to agenda item number 3, approval of the minutes. Is there any additions or changes any of the task force members would like to see from last meeting's minutes from November 14th, 2024? With that, I would entertain a motion for approval.
For council record, I move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor of approving the minutes as written, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'm sorry, sir, who seconded that motion?
Tim Galuzzi.
Thank you.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We will move into agenda item number 4, overview of the federal fiscal year 2025 state and local cybersecurity grant program. Do we have, I think it's Michael from the OEM team?
It's present.
Go ahead.
Apologies. For federal fiscal year 2025, Nevada has been allocated $1,238,972 through the state and local cybersecurity grant program. As outlined in the notice of funding opportunity released August 1st, 2025. The program is intended to strengthen state and local government cybersecurity by funding projects that align with Nevada's CISA approved cybersecurity plan and address at least one of 4 objectives. Objective 1, develop and establish appropriate governance structures, including developing, implementing, or revising cybersecurity plans to improve capabilities, respond to cybersecurity incidents, and ensure continuity of operations. Objective 2, understand their current cybersecurity posture and the areas for improvement based on continuous testing, evaluation, and structured assessments. Objective 3, implement security protections commensurate with risk. Objective 4, ensure organization personnel are appropriately trained in cybersecurity commensurate with responsibility. Program requirements include a 25% local pass-through, a 40% non-federal cost share for single entity projects, and a 30% for multi-entity projects. Unlike previous years, there is no separate rural pass-through requirement in FY25. Instead, rural populations were factored into FEMA's allocation formula. Today, we have 12 proposed projects with a total requested value of $2,795,359. Each project is to be ranked 1 through 12 by each voting member with no repeating values. 1 will be considered the rank of highest priority, with 12 being lowest priority. The scores for each project will be totaled with the lowest total receiving the highest priority and the highest total receiving the lowest priority, giving each project a rank 1 through 12, with the cutoff line being placed when the project totals reach $1,177,023.40, or the highest amount without exceeding Nevada's allocation.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Is there any questions for the OEM team before we get into presentations? Okay. Thank you, sir. We will now move into agenda item number 5, the federal fiscal year 2025 SLCGP projects and budget proposal presentations. I will call these in order of what they are on the ranking sheet. So City of Reno, you'll be up first if there's somebody on from City of Reno, and then Clark County School District will be on second. Do we have somebody from City of Reno to go through their 3 project proposals?
Yeah. Brantley Hancock, Senior Cybersecurity Analyst for Cedar Reno, for the record. Is there a particular order, or should I present them in the order like us as an organization would ideally want these funded?
I think let's go just for simplicity on the ranking process. Let's start with the cloud environment backup, and then cloud gateway and DNS filtering, and then the XRD project. I think if we do that, but then you let us know what priority order those look like, that would be helpful as well.
Okay. Yeah, so the first one is for our cloud environment backup. As you know, Microsoft, they can only guarantee availability. They don't guarantee any sort of data protection. So this project would be to get a backup environment for our Microsoft Entra ID, our SharePoint, OneDrive, Microsoft Exchange, all of our emails. Right now, we only have just what's included with Microsoft's basic suite. So this would give us like an external third-party tenant for the immutable backup of all those pieces of Microsoft. So that would help us in the event of any sort of cyber attack. Say a global admin account for Microsoft was compromised and somebody started deleting data, or we had an employee, for example, I don't know, start maliciously deleting everything from a SharePoint site or their OneDrive that might contain critical data that we need to retain. So that's what that project would entail, is a platform to keep a copy of all that data in a third party. Is there any questions on that one, or should I go through all 3?
Let's see if we've got questions on this first project. Any questions from members of the task force?
The only question I would have is what's the priority on this one?
This one was ranked number 2 for us as our what we view would be the most bang for the buck on cybersecurity dollars.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Okay, I think you're good to go into your second project.
Okay, and I think the second one was the cloud gateway, if I remember right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, so this one would be for obviously replacing the DNS filtering that we're losing through MS-ISAC without a membership. So this would essentially allow us to have roaming DNS agents, whether they're on the network, off the network, which we don't have now, even with the current MS-ISAC offering. So this will allow us to control like web content, visiting malicious domains as devices come and go. We have police, fire trucks, etc. They're always on cellular. They're rarely on the network directly. So it gained that ability on the DNS side, as well as it's would be a cloud filtering gateway. So think of like a web filter, but just in the cloud that's always available to every device at all times. So same thing, whether on the network, off the network, this would allow us to control what's coming in and out of every computer's web browser and network traffic anywhere in the world. So this would entail being able to put guardrails on websites they can visit, DLP, data loss prevention for any sort of potential malicious exfiltrations, virus scanning on all like PDFs, Word documents, etc. that are being downloaded, all that. Any questions for this one?
Perfect. Any questions from members of the task force?
Yeah, this is Brandon Peterson. Quick question. Do you have any of those capabilities on those mobile devices now, or is this a new capability?
No, this would be a new capability. We obviously we have VPN clients, but everyone's not always connected to the VPN back through our firewall. We do have our antivirus on the machines, obviously, but that can only go so far. But we don't have anything, say, like a Zscaler or anything like that for always on web filtering. We don't have anything like that currently.
I've got one question. The next topic, which is the XDR, which is also part of that, does the XDR tool that you're looking at have that same capability uh, from a website protection perspective and limiting it?
It does have some built in. We can like block generic categories, for example, like you can't go to porn websites or something like that. And also it does prevent malicious websites. That would be basically our only layer would be our endpoint protection currently. So there would be no, I guess, like cloud firewall in front of it. If we needed to, I don't know, see what websites an employee was visiting and what they were downloading or uploading, we don't have that level of visibility. And this would hopefully give us that visibility.
But with the other project, the third project that you're going to talk about, would that give you some of that visibility that you don't have
sorry.
currently?
No. No.
And just a
Okay.
quick reminder to state your name for the record before you begin speaking each time, just so that the
Apologize.
it's easier on the back end.
Sure.
Um,
Brantley.
This is Jeff Lewis.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
Any additional questions on this project before we go into their
Oh,
third?
and this one we ranked as our third priority.
Okay.
And I'll recap at the end too, just in case. Okay, and then our final submission, and it would be our number one priority for funding, is a phaser, a proactive hardening and attack service reduction. So this would further extend our existing EDR, XDR services that we have. This is essentially a massive machine learning AI modeling, particularly targeting LOL bins, LOL bins. So obviously traditional malware viruses, Trojans, etc., that's kind of going away. Everyone's switching to living off the land. So they'll use our existing, I don't know, PowerShell or Microsoft tools and things that are already in the environment to make it just that much harder to detect. So with this particular technology we'd like to acquire is it basically learns every single person's behavior patterns with every single like Microsoft tool. So it knows I might always run a particular PowerShell script on this computer or this server, but I never touch the server, I don't know, say in our Parks Recreation Department. And then suddenly my account at 2 a.m. starts doing that. It would know that's a statistical anomaly and it would deny that type of access. So that's what it does, is it essentially pulls from the EDR logs to build a behavioral model pattern of all these various Microsoft tools and what's considered normal and abnormal usage for every single domain account there is in the network.
Any members of the task force have any questions on that one?
Your Sierra for the record. So you're just adding an existing feature to your current XDR, is that correct?
Yeah, this would be an expansion of our current EDR capabilities.
Perfect, thank you.
Brandon Peterson for the record. Could you give me a sense of, how many endpoints you're talking about and what type of personnel are there to kind of tune, and you're going to have a ton of false positives, I would imagine.
Yeah, we have a lot. We're about 2,100, 2,150 total. That's between servers, virtual machines, computers, laptops, MDTs, and cop cars. Total. I'm the only direct cyber position managing that. Obviously I do have some support from other staff members, but I'm the direct cyber. Thankfully, we do have through our XDR provider, we do have MDR services. So at least 8 to 5 or whatever when I'm not working, and it's go time for Russia, China, etc. Their business hours. We at least have that around the clock visibility on that. So if things like this would start popping up, hey, somebody's tried to run PowerShell or something that was highly abnormal, then at that point they would be able to trigger that response action.
Any additional questions from members of the task force? Okay, and then just to recap for the city of Reno, they would like to rank this last project, the XDR, as number 1, and then their cloud environment backup as number 2, and then their cloud gateway and DNS filtering is number 3. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Perfect. Okay, not hearing any additional questions for the City of Reno team, we will move into the Clark County School District. Is there somebody from Clark County School District able to present?
Yes, I'm here. My name's Carl Jones. I'm the Director of Enterprise Information Security for the Clark County School District.
Go ahead when you're ready.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is there any particular order you would like me to go in? We have two projects.
Start with the cybersecurity digital forensics and then go into your updated cybersecurity incident response planning, just for the way that this is outlined on the sheet, just to keep it simple.
Sounds good. That's also our priority. So our number 1 priority would be the digital forensics, and our number 2 priority would be the incident response. So the digital forensics, what we're seeking to do, let me just preface by saying we have approximately 90,000 endpoints, 300,000 to 400,000 Chromebooks. We have 380 sites across the Las Vegas Valley, across Clark County. So quite a large environment. And what we are struggling with is managing our forensics investigations and requests for public Freedom of Information Act information, following up and finding data when we need to. So what we're looking for is a managed service that would help us encapsulate those digital forensics and index searches for us, give us the ability to export and import data as we need, redact as necessary for purposes of being defensible in the legal system, a portal that would help us track these cases and their progress, and just a way to organize and streamline those types of operations.
Thank you very much, Carl. Is there any questions for him?
Yeah, Brandon Peterson for the record. You said you have about 90,000 machines. How many cases do you estimate you have on a yearly basis, like forensic cases?
Yeah, so it's I don't have a number. I wish I had a number to give you. It is in the hundreds. We are dealing with requests from, say, school police, from Office of General Counsel. And then, of course, time is of the essence when it's school police, because sometimes there are life and safety involved of students and staff. So being able to track things, find out where something came from, how a message was propagated, those types of things, we have to respond as quickly as we can. We have Office of General Counsel for legal matters. We have public records requests. So it's in the hundreds every year. And it is a lot of work, right now it is a lot of reaching out to different departments and going through different channels to get different information. And we're looking to have that data sort of indexed, searchable, filterable, and get to the information we need in a timely manner and as much as possible. So.
Thank you very much, Carl. Any additional questions for the Clark County School District? And before we move on, just verifying again on the record that the cybersecurity digital forensics is number 1 on your priority list, and then the response planning is number 2.
Yes, that is correct. Carl Jones for CCSD. Yes, that is correct.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Carl. Hearing no other questions from the task force members, we will move on to our county water reclamation district, and then Humboldt County Emergency Management. You're on deck.
Oh, I didn't. Did you want me to go on to my second one, the incident response?
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so incident response is a very important part of our preparation for cybersecurity. In 2023, we have worked with a third party to develop incident response plans, playbooks, and do tabletop exercises with many of our departments, with our chief executive level, with our distributed IT, our transportation, our police services, our food services. And what we're looking to do is refresh those and bring those documents up to date, and renew our tabletop exercises, maybe to reflect some of the changes that are in the environment as of now. And so we're looking for some help to do that with a third party who will bring, you know, an objectivity that we don't have when doing these ourselves. So that is our request.
Thank you so much. Any questions on that project?
Sheriff, for the record. Carl, I just wanted to ask, in your application, you guys previously went through a cyber attack, and that's kind of to assist with this. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
You stated that some of this has to do with the previous incident that you guys faced. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What occurred then?
Yeah, so I'm not sure which one you're referring to. We did have an initial cyber breach in 2020 that we had no response plan for at all, and we weren't prepared for. Then we worked on an incident response plan. We had an additional breach in 2023, which we did have some preparation for, so we did much better. You know, there's always room for improvement, right? You can never get these things, you know, perfect, but we did a lot better. And now we're looking to update those incident response plans to refresh tabletop exercises so that maybe we have new faces who have come into a department that weren't there before and aren't familiar with the tabletop exercises and walking through the scenarios and so forth. So that's our goal with those, is to, you know, reinvigorate the awareness and get people thinking about what we're going to do if there is another incident.
Awesome. And then you guys were funded in 2022 for this, right? So this is a continuation of that. Is that correct?
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
And just another reminder to state your name before you speak for the meeting minutes on the back end. Any additional questions for the Clark County School District team? Okay, thank you so much, Carl. We will now move into the Clark County Water Reclamation District. Is there somebody on from the Water Reclamation District to present?
Yes. Hi, I'm Jessica Rodriguez. I am the Administrative Specialist for Grants and Strategic Services for Clark County Water Reclamation District. And I also have Damian Edwards assisting me with this today. He's the Department Systems Administrator for SCADA and Telemetry. We are seeking $37,259 in funding to implement a secure remote access platform that integrates zero trust remote access and operational technology segmentation. This initiative will replace outdated and vulnerable VPN-based systems currently used by third-party vendors to manage critical security data acquisitions, such as SCADA environments. SCADA and telemetry networks are classified as critical infrastructure, and remote access into these systems presents significant security risks. Our proposed solution is a critical component of our Zero Trust cybersecurity roadmap, designed to eliminate aging and insecure VPN-based access methods, enforce policy-based access controls, enable per-user authentication, and provide centralized session auditing for full traceability. This platform will deliver secure, auditable, and scalable remote access across multiple treatment facilities and telemetry sites. It ensures consistent, policy-driven connectivity for remote users and vendors, while dramatically reducing the attack surface and improving compliance posture. With this funding, we are proactively tightening remote access controls and strengthening our operational technology landscape. That's it.
Thank you so much. Is there any questions for the Water Reclamation District from Clark County?
Marilyn Delmont for the record. Do you have anything now? Is this an upgrade or is this just new?
This would be a new solution. We do currently have a traditional VPN in place that leverages multi-factor authentication and encryption from the VPN tunnel, but this would be a new initiative.
Thank you.
And just a reminder, just state your name before we begin talking. Is there any additional questions for the Water Reclamation District? Okay, we will now move into the Humboldt County Emergency Management and the Nevada Department of Transportation. You're on deck. Go ahead, Humboldt County.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Carol Lynn. I am the emergency manager for Humboldt County. And the project that I'm bringing forward to you today is for the hiring or contracting with a consulting firm to help us with our entire IT department. We are a rural county, and one of the biggest hurdles that we have being where we are is finding people at certain qualification levels that want to live in a rural community. So the decision has been made to look for an outside consulting firm to help us increase our cybersecurity, our IT structure, our IT functioning, so on and so forth. And this goes with hand in hand with a CISA physical security analysis that we have had on our government buildings. So the contractor that we have chosen is Oasis Consulting, and the amount of the grant that we are requesting is $129,000. This would be an annual fee broken into components, and that's basically the grant application. Questions?
Hey, Carol, Brett Compson. Hey, just be advised from the Office of Emergency Management, so you cannot pre-select an individual vendor. You'll have to compete that and select the best vendor. Obviously, we can still move forward with the application for a consulting firm, but not for a particular vendor.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you so much,
And
both of those. Is there any question for Humboldt County Emergency Management? Okay, seeing none, thank you so much, Carol. We'll now move into the Nevada Department of Transportation and the Office of Information Security and Cyber Defense. You're on deck.
Good morning, Rick Hayes from NDOT. How are you? Thanks for having me. Today we're asking for some support for a CIS control item. One of the areas requires MFA for administrator access on accounts where supported on all enterprise assets, whether managed or on-site, through a service provider. We found a few solutions that we're looking at, and so we're asking for $25,450 for that solution.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hayes. Any questions for the Department of Transportation? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, we will move into the Office of Information Security and Cyber Defense, Washoe County Emergency Management and Homeland Security. You're on deck.
Thanks, Tim. Adam Miller for the record. This is a continuation grant from previous 2 fiscal years for a statewide security operations center. This will integrate both state agencies as well as reaching out to our county and city partners to integrate them into our security operations center. So for the sake of brevity, just because we've gone 2 previous grants, I won't belabor it. I recognize that this grant request exceeds the total SLCGP amount for the state, so we are willing to take a haircut to get it within the budgetary constraints.
Any questions for Adam?
This is Jeff Lewis. Will the other cities and counties be required to join? And then B, is there any savings for those cities and counties as they have eliminated any type of third-party services they might be using?
No to the mandate, yes to potential savings. Obviously, this will allow folks to connect, and depending on what SOC services we stand up, we would anticipate savings for city and county partners that do join.
Hey, Adam, Brett Thompson for the record. So how do we meet the 80% pass through the local requirement and the 25% rural requirement if we give you all of the SLCGP funds?
Yeah, great question, sir. So anticipation is to onboard the most at-risk cities and counties through grant funding, allowing them to satisfy the rural pass-through requirement. Obviously, state agencies will be automatically onboarded with the state SOC solution, but our intent is to onboard rural entities to satisfy that rural component, short of a mandate, obviously.
Okay, and Brett Thompson for the record, also just be advised, it is a requirement that we pass 80% to local government, so we got to make sure that that's covered.
Yes, sir, and that's the requirement that we've been moving towards through the 2 previous years as well.
Any additional questions for Office of Information Security and Cyber Defense?
Sheriff, for the record. So I just, when I was looking over the application, there is some statement here that you guys are looking to contract with a third-party vendor. So is that stating that the state's not standing up their own SOC? Is this going to be connected to a third party? Just to get some clarification on that.
Adam Miller for the record. Yes, that is correct. Just because of the current state infrastructure, we don't have the manpower or the expertise to start day one with a state SOC housed in-house. So we will be contracting that out. And the goal is to use that format and those services to eventually build an in-house capability.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it.
Marilyn Dunlap for the record. It's probably a little early now, but I would imagine that your partners can opt in, but long term there would be some type of a fee. Any idea what that fee would be?
Adam Miller for the record. As far as what that fee will be, TBD. Obviously, our goal is to use the grant funding as an on-ramp for a lot of these local entities to get them in the door, and then as the maturity of the SOC progresses, we would like to move towards a kind of a fee-for-service model. But as far as the cost for that, that's TBD at this point. And we've got hopefully 3 years of grant funding to figure that out and reduce the impact on our state and local partners.
Thank you.
Any additional questions for the Office of Information Security and Cyber Defense? Okay, not seeing anyone. We will now move into the Washoe County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Program, and Washoe County Sheriff's Office, you're on deck. Do we have somebody from Emergency Management at Washoe County?
This is for the record. This is Chris Long. Oh, there's Jessica. Do you want to jump in, Jessica?
Yeah, sorry, Jessica Adams-Lopes for the record. All I was going to say is I'll hand it over to Chris Long to speak about the specifics of the project.
Thanks, Jessica. This is Chris Long. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for the 2nd Judicial District Court. We're looking at 4 objectives in the following priority for the funding. We're looking at $280,000 if all 4 are funded. I'll give them in priority. And our first one is when these funds become available, our firewalls will be out of support and outdated. We're looking for funding to renew that for our next generation firewalls. The next item is we have some physical servers that are out of date and will be out of date. We want to replace those to keep the vulnerabilities in the firmware and all the updates available that we can get. Third item is the cybersecurity platform for SEM. This will be renewing funds. Previous grant, we were granted that SEM, that this is to continue that. And the last item is our workstation docking stations are currently out of support with no firmware updates. We've got about 300 docking stations within our environment that we're looking to hopefully replace too.
Thank you so much, Mr. Long. Any questions for the Second Judicial District? Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Long.
Thank you.
Move into Washoe County Sheriff's Office and White Pine County. You're on deck.
Where's a good spot for me to present from? It's right here. Okay. Sam Vanderwall for the record. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Sergeant Sam Vanderwall. I serve with the Washoe County Sheriff's Office representing the Northern Nevada Cyber Center. Our center is a vital hub for cybersecurity operations, supporting police departments, local governments, and tribal entities across Northern Nevada. We extend critical assistance to rural communities that lack the advanced capabilities, effectively covering the northern half of the state while Las Vegas handles the southern half. We're best known for our expertise in the internet crimes against children investigations, where our detectives are qualified as digital forensic specialists under FEMA. But our mission goes beyond that. We also tackle a wide range of cyber threats, from ransomware to data breaches. For instance, in May 2025, we assisted the Washoe County Recorder's Office when a foreign entity scraped sensitive data from their public website, helping to mitigate the risks and secure their systems. Today, I'm here to request $93,000 from the fiscal year 2025 state and local cybersecurity grant program. It's to bolster our defenses and align with national and state priorities. This funding will directly enhance our resilience against evolving threats like malware, which is one of our top focuses. Breaking it down, $30,000 will fund cybersecurity training for our team, emphasizing malware detection and best practices for new employees. Another $30,000 will replace outdated, unsupported hardware that's vulnerable to exploits, ensuring our tools meet modern security standards. $30,000 more will update our forensic software, allowing us to analyze digital evidence more effectively without risking system integrity. And finally, $3,000 will secure encrypted data transmission software to safely handle sensitive materials such as child sexual abuse materials and ICAT cases, while isolating our operations from the county network to prevent cross-contamination from potentially compromised devices like criminal phones and computers. Thank you for your consideration for this request, and I welcome any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the Washoe County Sheriff's Office? Okay, hearing none, we can move to White Pine County. Do we have somebody from White Pine on? I'm not seeing anybody come off of mute. If you're on the phone, you may need to hit *6. Okay, last call for White Pine County to present. Okay, before we go into ranking, I want to pass it over to Samantha Laddick really quick. I think there was a couple of clarifying things that we needed to go through before we go into the next agenda item.
Thanks, Tim. Samantha Laddick for the record. Just wanted to point out for everyone that when you do your ranking tonight, at the end of the ranking, there'll be a list or an order of ranked projects. And I just want to make it clear to everybody that that is not our vote as a public body. That is just a ranking and it's a starting place. So if the ranking list doesn't meet your fancy and you want to change things around and make a motion to change things around, you can. I just want to make sure everybody's clear that we are not voting through the ranking sheets. We're just merely kind of creating a starting point for a discussion. That's all I have, Tim. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sam. And I think, Lauren, we may need to recall the roll just to make sure we know who is all present before we move into that process as well.
Lauren Gorse for the record. Adam Miller, are you present?
Present.
Thank you, sir. Brian O'Neill.
Present.
Tim Horgan. Sanford Graves. Frank Abella. Still have quorum?
Thank you so much, and thanks for those that were able to jump on a couple minutes after we started as well. I think it's very helpful to have as many people here in the ranking process as possible, and the administration of these grant funds is an important thing. So let's, with that, move into agenda item number 6. This is the ranking of the federal fiscal year 2025 SLCGP projects and budget proposal sorry, I think we're OEM staff. Is this, Michael, is this moving into your section on the ranking process? Are you walking us through that one?
See the ranking sheet here. Each project labeled A through L. I have gone ahead and highlighted those members that are not present. So we will ignore those lines for now. And with that, I'll begin with the ranking.
Hey, Tim, this is Brett Thompson for the record. Sir, do you want to give the team some time to evaluate before we actually call for their individual reading of their rankings? Or would you like to go straight into it?
I think, yeah, that probably makes sense. Do we want to give, is 5 minutes okay, or do we need additional time? 5 minutes work for everybody? So let's plan on being back in session in 5 minutes. We'll take a quick recess. We'll reconvene at 9:50. We are at 9:50 now. Does anybody need additional time? Okay, I think with that, we can get into the ranking process as part of agenda item number 6. We'll start with Tim Galuzzi. I do think he has to potentially jump over to another meeting. So if we could start with Tim and then we can go into kind of our normal list from there.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, Tim Galuzzi. Starting with a 4, 5, 8, 7, 11, 3, 10, 6, 1, 9, 2, 12. Looks like a solid copy.
For the record, starting with A, 4, 5, 8, 7, 11, 10, apologies, 3, 10, 6, 1, 9, 2, and 12.
That's correct.
Marilyn Delmont for the record. A10, B9, C8, D1, E3, F4, G5, H11, I2, J7, K6, L12.
Record 10, 9, 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 11, 2, 7, 6, and 12.
Dr. Delmont, could you please confirm that for the record?
Confirm my numbers again.
We read them back into the record for you. I just wanted to make sure that we have it in the right order.
Okay. 10, 9, 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 11, 2, 7, 6, and 12.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, Brett Compton for the record. Alpha 7, 2, 3, 6, 11, 1, 4, 10, 8, 9, 5, 12.
And to confirm, we have 7, 2, 3, 6, 11, 1, 4, 10, 8, 9, 5, 12.
That is correct.
Jeffrey Lewis.
Yep. I've got 8, 12, 5, 11, 9, 3, 7, 6, 1, 4, 2, 10.
Confirm 8, 12, 5, 11, 9, 3, 7, 6, 1, 4, 2, Ken?
Yep.
Adam Miller?
I've got Alpha 4, 8, 7, 6, 11, 2, 12, 3, 1, 10, 5, 9.
Confirm we have 4, 8, 7, 6, 11, 2, 12, 3, 1, 10, 5, 9.
Correct.
Brandon Peterson?
I've got 6, 7, 2, 3, 8, 5, 10, 1, 11, 9, 4, 12.
Confirm 6, 7, 2, 3, 8, 5, 10, 1, 11, 9, 4, and 12.
That is correct.
And excuse me.
Dan Waters, you're good. Dan Waters for the record. Alpha 6, Bravo 5, Charlie 1, Delta 10, Echo 11, Foxtrot 3, Golf 4, Hotel 7, India 8, Juliet 12, Kilo 2, Lima 9.
Confirm we have 6, 5, 1, 10, 11, 3, 4, 7, 8, 12, 2, and 9.
Confirmed.
Brian O'Neill?
Brian O'Neill for the record, starting with A 7, 9, 5, 3, 12, 4, 8, 6, 10, 2, 1, 11.
Confirm we have 7, 9, 5, 3, 12, 4, 8, 6, 10, 2, 1, and 11.
Correct.
Edgar Sierra?
Edgar Sierra for the record, starting with Alpha 10, 4, 3, 9, 8, 2, 11, 5, 6, 7, 1, 12.
Confirm we have 10, 4, 3, 9, 8, 2, 11, 5, 6, 7, 1, 12.
That's correct. Thank you.
James Wood?
Starting with a 11, 6, 1, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 7, 8, 12.
I confirm we have 11, 6, 1, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 7, 8, and 12.
Correct.
Chair, this is Brett Thompson for the record. Just please give us some time here while they tabulate and re-rack and stack the rankings.
Thanks, sir.
Here, they're ready to walk you through the results.
Go ahead when you're ready.
So Tim, this is Zach Idler for the record. What we're looking at is projects F, K, and C fully funded, and then project I, which is the Office of Information Security and Cyber Defense statewide SOC project, is short of being funded by $224,270.
Okay, so I think with that, maybe we move into discussion with Adam Miller on how much that project can come down to, still be effective, but potentially be able to get additional projects funded and maybe even their own project fully funded.
Adam Miller for the record. Yeah, Tim and Zach, we're comfortable with that haircut. This is obviously a big priority and one that is of the utmost priority, given recent circumstances in the state. So as much as we need to come down to fit it under the line, we're comfortable with. So I'll throw that out there and then we can kind of discuss if other projects, I would say probably the NDOT, we're comfortable also reducing by additional 25K to get NDOT under the line as well if possible.
So just to explain what that would look like from the numbers perspective, you would take a cut of $249,720, and that would allow Project H, which is the Nevada DOT SLCGB 2025 project, to also be funded.
Which
that
next
one? Project H, sir. Yeah.
Yes. The next one in line in the order.
Yes.
Right.
Is there additional discussion from members of the task force on this?
This is Brett Thompson for the record, just to verify, talking to the grants team here. So with the projects that we are proposing as the top ranked items, we will meet our 80% pass through to locals, 25% to rural requirement.
So no, we would not be meeting that unless, so with the numbers we have now, we would not be meeting that. We would need a commitment from those 5 projects to collectively reach that percentage, which we have looked at, clocked it at $132,429. Or sorry, the required pass through is $247,794.40. So that would we need to have conversation about how much each project can put towards that rural amount, and then commit to that in activities in lieu of funding.
Adam Miller for the record. Yeah, we can, as we have done in the past 2 fiscal years, we will send out the attestation for activities in lieu of funding documents to our rural partners for that, for the adequate pass through.
Just to be clear, sir, how much would you be putting yourself on the line to get rural pass through for?
As much as we need to satisfy the requirement.
Okay, so to be clear, that would be $247,794.40. I can put that in the spreadsheet.
We can accommodate.
Thank you, sir. So with that, we would meet the rural pass through requirement.
Okay, just want to make sure that we're sufficient.
So that ranking would be the recommendation from the task force to our state administrative agent to review and consider the funding amounts as we've presented them. Is that correct, Brett and Sam? Is there any additional pieces we would need to do as the task force for this piece?
This is Samantha Laddick from the Attorney General's office. The only missing piece would be actually taking a vote to accept the rankings as discussed in order to move them forward to the SAA.
Understood. Before we go into a vote, do we have any additional conversation that any members of the task force would like to have on this?
So this is Marilyn Dunlap for the record. So the 249, maybe someone can explain to me the rural piece because I'm not understanding that.
Yeah, happy to do that. This is Zach Adler for the record. So effectively in the notice of funding opportunity, FEMA put a requirement on each state accepting the funds to have 25% of their pass-through amount be given to jurisdictions that are less than 50,000 people. That would be the federal consideration for rural. So that funding amount that Adam Miller, the OCIO, sorry, not used to the new acronym, with the Office of Cyber Information Security and Cyber Defense gave, he would be committing to passing through or doing activities in lieu of funding for communities that meet that under 50,000 under 50,000 person population count to meet that requirement for the grant. Sorry for my rambling, but does that make sense?
Well, that does make sense, but I guess so. I guess the way I'm looking at it is if it's the 249,720, wouldn't that, like, for example, I'm sure White Pines and Humboldt are less than 50,000. I mean, wouldn't that put them in the running? Maybe I'm misunderstanding something.
To be clear, that's something that the committee could talk about as options to vote on and make a recommendation. If you wanted to take those rural communities and force them above the cutoff line and then redistribute that funding to them because they're rural communities, that is, well within the scope of the committee's review. What Adam's project has done for that 247,794 is saying, we will give benefit of these cyber services to rural communities, and that is just another allowable way under the grant program to meet that threshold.
This is Brett Thompson for the record. Also, just want to make sure that we're clear that we're both talking about the same number. So Marilyn's talking about the 249,720, and that's an actual reduction from the original ask that OISCD had in order to accommodate the dollar amount we actually had available and the $25,450 that would also fund the next item down, H, which is NDOT. So there are two very similar numbers, but they are different. One is a reduction in the project amount for OISCD, and one is the 25% rural requirement that would then be met by the OISCD project, correct?
That is what I'm tracking.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
So my thinking on the rural requirement is, it appears that they need the grant funding now, whereas the Office of Information Security and Cyber Defense, that's down the road. I mean, saying that you're going to consider them, which is great, but that's down the road, and it appears to me, it seems that they need the funding now.
Understood.
So that's my thought. That's my thought.
Understood. Do other members of the task force agree with the thought to potentially bring up those rural components higher above the line and potentially take that delta between those two rural proposals out of the cyber SOC proposal?
This is Brett Thompson for the record. Can we clarify which two rural proposals we're talking about potentially moving up?
I believe what was being discussed is the Humboldt County Emergency Management and the White Pine County proposals. Is that correct?
Those were the two that I was looking at, but I mean, there could be more, but I think those are the two.
This is Brett Thompson for the record. Can we see where both the Humboldt County ranked as well as White Pine County ranked?
Yeah, so Humboldt County Project G ranked at 9, far down the table, and then the White Pine County Project L ranked at number 12 at the bottom of the list.
Thanks for that context. Edgar, I see you came off of mute.
Yeah, Edgar Shearer for the record. So I think I share the same concern as Dr. Marilyn Delmount was. That's the assumption that the rural counties are going to be joining the SOC. or if I could get some clarification on that from Adam, as far as do we already have those departments asking for this? From the presentation, it seemed like this is more an assumption that the state as a whole was going to be joining the SOC, but have we already made those contracts? Is there an interest in that? Because I also agree that we could be funding other sections or other projects here with that total amount from the SOC.
Yeah, thanks, Edgar. Adam Miller for the record. So currently we are leveraging a FY24 UNLV grant that they received for how the SOC implementation would roll out for the state. So that's priority number one. We're going to go through and figure out what exactly this needs to look like. And that's currently underway. And then to your second piece, yes, we have received commitments from numerous local entities that have said once this gets instantiated, they will participate.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate for that clarification.
And Adam, just for clarification, the entities that have committed, do those meet the rural criteria?
Yeah, we have received commitments from both non-rural and rural components alike. And we have received the activities in lieu of funding documents for all of those entities as well.
Zach and OEM team, if we were to move those two above the line, would there be a dollar amount that we could propose to Adam to potentially take an additional cut if we did want to go that direction, just for context for the team?
Yeah, Chair. This is Zach Idler for the record. Between Project Gamma at 129,000 and Project Lima, which is $3,429, you're looking at an additional cut to Adam's project for $132,429, and the total cut would be $382,149 for the OISCD project.
And Zach, Adam Miller for the record. Zach, correct me if I'm wrong. That would still require a rural pass-through of some sort from my OISCD grant, correct? Because I didn't reach the 247 number.
That is correct. That 132,000 would be cut out. I can get you that number in just a second for what it would end up being. So then the total amount you would need to cover Adam would be $115,365.40 for activities in lieu of funding.
Adam Miller for the record. For the good of the task force, I'm okay with that change to get White Pine and Humble above the line and take a reduction from our overall grant by the $132,429 amount, and thus reducing our rural pass-through requirement as well.
What are the thoughts of members of the task force? Does that help bring some more comfortability to making the recommendation?
Thank you, Adam, for that. I feel much better now.
Yeah, Edgar Sheriff for the record, and yeah, I agree.
Okay, any further discussion on what recommendation we will be making as the cybersecurity task force to the state administrative agent?
Dan Waters for the record. I just have a quick question. Those numbers are additive, correct? So we have the 130,000 plus the 250 that would come off of India to fund the other projects, correct? And to meet the rural pass-through.
Shay Sloan for the record. I'm showing Project I would have a total reduction of $382,149 for a new project amount of $871,946. And that allows for us to include Project G and Project L in the total federal amount.
Thank you. Dan Waters for the record. I just want to make sure OISCD understands that amount. It's not 130. You're looking at a 380 reduction.
Yes, sir. That's correct. We're tracking.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Any additional comments, questions? Okay, I think with that, I would entertain a motion for approval of this recommendation to the state administrative agent.
Dan Waters for the record, so moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Marilyn Delmont for the record, second.
We'll take Marilyn Delmont's second, and all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. I think with that, we will move into our second public comment. Agenda item number 7. No action may be taken under a matter raised under this item on the agenda until it is specifically included on a future agenda. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes at the discretion of the chair. And I read the dial-in information at the beginning. Is there anybody in the room at OEM that wishes to make public comment?
Brett Thompson, there's no one in the room.
Thank you, sir. And I'm assuming we've also not had any written comment.
Lauren Borst for the record, that's correct, sir.
And has anybody joined on the phone or on Zoom that wishes to make public comment? You may need to hit *6 to unmute yourself.
Lauren Borst for the record, I'm not seeing any.
Okay, thank you so much. I think with that, we can move into agenda item number 8, the adjournment of this meeting. Sam, do we need a motion to approve the adjournment?
Yes, please. And a vote.
Brett Thompson, I move we adjourn.
Oops.
This is Brett Thompson. I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Dan Waters, I'll second.
We'll take General Waters for a second. And with that, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. It is 10:22. We're adjourning this meeting of the Cybersecurity Task Force. Thank you all for participating today.